Thank you and welcome for joining us on the Realist Show Out. Do not forget to subscribe, do not forget to like, leave a comment down below. Today we have a very special guest. It's an absolute privilege, absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
My name's D, and yeah.
Thank you for joining, D.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure. Brings me into my first question. What advice do you have for young men that are caught up on the streets, bro?
My own personal advice, it's like, it starts from the household, innit? So the advice what I would have, if you're one of them youths who are on the roads and the peer pressure's kicking in because of your peers, i.e. your friends who you're moving about with, it's like, so what I mean by that, when I was on the roads, I had like probably loads of friends. But as you get older and you get more mature in your age, all the friends are not really friends. They kind of end up being your associates, and you might have a one or two friends. And I guess for me, my two friends, who are still my two friends now, they went a different way to me. Just what I'm saying. I kind of went down the other path, and they've ended up being my friends now. So I guess for the youth, it all starts from the household, innit? Do you understand? Like for me, if you ain't got a father role, you kind of look for TVs, superheroes, or older generation guys outside, and that's where
facts.
That's where you can
That
get
is
caught
facts.
up there. That's where it starts. That's where it started for me, anyway.
So you feel like if a father figure's missing, it's like hard for the young.
It's hard because I'll give you an example of my story, my journey. I was a footballer. My household was calm, as I can remember. I was a footballer, playing football, and I used to phone my dad regular on the Sunday to come and watch me, but he never kind of used to come. And then on the sideline, all the other players' parents used to kind of support my team, but
That must have been difficult.
Yeah, I was happy at the time, but it's like I'm looking on the sideline and thinking, but where's my pups? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like I'm playing the football, but I'm playing the football very frustrating now. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking, where's my pups? And the pattern just kept being that same pattern for me, to where I ended up, usually some people get a 3 match ban. I got 6 months. That's 3/4 of the season. So when all the scouts are coming to watch me trying to play now, they can't watch me because I'm on a ban. And they can't watch me in training because training's just training. They want to see the real deal. So with that peer pressure there, it kind of made me not play football no more. I went on the streets.
And it had a great impact, a negative impact.
Yeah, it was a negative impact but then the same guy who's my manager, who put his time into me, I kind of like closed the door on him, because I used to look at him as like, you're not my father. So as much as you're telling me things, I'm not going to take it in because you're not my father. But me, where I am today, I always look back in my life and think, I wish I took him what he was telling me, because he was always trying to help me from then, basically.
But at the time you couldn't see it because of that impact. And I feel like what you said is so important, and it's such a great point. It starts from the home.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that as parents, not being conscious of that, it's going to have a great impact.
Because don't get wrong, my mum done everything. Like my mum right now today is my best friend, so like she's done everything. But you see, with the opposite sex, i.e. mum, and you're a boy child, there's only so much a mum can do to you as a boy child. Just what I'm saying. So as I got older, there's only so much my mum can do. And then most of my peers was all on the roads, and that's what you kind of pick up. But as I was playing football, that's what was keeping me grounded. But like I said, when I got the 6-month ban, there was nothing else.
Because the scouts can't
there was
see
no
you play,
more grounded.
so
I'm
defeated
bored
the purpose,
now. Yeah,
really.
there was nothing more to do. And I lived in a council state as well, so it was always around the corner, but I wasn't really going that direction. Do you understand? So yeah.
And it brings me on to my next question. In your personal opinion, does prison help reform our youth, or does it make them worse?
Boy. All right then. So for myself, I've just done 16 years. Yeah, I've basically just done 16 years, and I only come out last year. Just what I'm saying. And before I've done them 16 years, I've never done prison before. Do you understand? So prison for me, it helped me because I went to a boys' school. So as early as me getting into prison, that is how I looked at the whole place. I looked at it as a boys' school, and I couldn't go home, basically. That's what I kind of looked at it from early. And then I don't feel prison helps you, because it's kind of institutionalized racism. So what I mean with that, it's like you'll see a different man from me as a black man can get away with certain things to what I can't get away with. And it's just like, it's a stereotype thing. So it's like, you can learn if you want to learn, or you can just sit down and not do nothing. But it's also, prison for me, it's like you meet more criminals, so you get into more stuff to what you was in before you went away. So it's a catch-22 for me. And to your question, I don't feel it does help, because I feel in the other side of it, from the government side of stuff, it's this all about money. So all the courses you do, it's all tick boxes. Like the teachers will tell you that in prison, like they will help you to pass it, because it's just a tick box. Because if you pass it, they get their check. So it's all tick boxing. So in that sense, it's an individual thing. Do you understand? It doesn't help everybody, but it will help somebody. Yeah.
And I heard something that troubled me. It was about, in prison, you're not allowed to smoke cigarettes, but you're allowed to vape, and these.
Right, yeah. So that little thing that come out 2017. I was still in prison when that changed over from not smoking at all, and then they come out of some new thing called vapes. But it's like a lot of people was smoking the vapes, but everyone who was smoking them, it's like enough man was breathing different to how they was breathing when they was smoking tobacco. So it's like, yeah, I don't even know how all that started, but basically they've closed it. You can't smoke cigarette again, and the only thing you can do is smoke these vapes what come off the canteen sheet.
And the owner of the vapes is Theresa May.
Theresa May's partner or something, which I've only just found out that information the other day.
It's just diabolical.
Madness. But it would make more sense now why it's happened in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. And just brings me into my next question. How did you become such an inspirational person, such a positive person who has the ability to look at a situation as negative and turn it into something positive? How can you take us? You've taken us a bit through your journey. Can you take us through your journey? How did you get to where you are now?
For me, I've got children. You see what I'm saying? And I have to break that cycle. Do you understand? Because it didn't get broken for me growing up, so I need to break it for my children.
Would you say your kids was a big factor?
Yeah, big factor. Like, well, in two ways. Because in one way, I feel like if I didn't have my kids, my time would have been more easy in prison. But then in the next thing, it was a blessing to have my kids, because it kind of shaped me to what I wanted to do while I was sitting down for that time. And that was trying to get out as early as I can to get back to my children. So, yeah.
So the kids were a blessing.
That was the blessing.
A main change, and motivating factor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you feel that there's enough opportunities for our youth in our community?
I guess in the times when I was growing up, I'll say no. But right now, because of social media and all that, it's like I believe if you've got an idea, you can give it a go. Where in my days, you would have an idea and it was just an idea. You actually can go forward with this idea because of how social media works. And if you're a youth who's very active on all these social medias, you got a good chance to give it that go. Yeah.
And that's really powerful and really useful information you're saying.
But there's a negative with it as well as the positive, because social give everything they give. I wouldn't say everything is real. I'll say probably 20% real and 80% of it's fake. So you gotta be very careful.
Be able to decipher the difference.
You gotta be very careful with the information you're taking in. But as you start in your own thing, I feel it's much easier than it was back in the day, to the question you asked me. Yeah.
Thank you. And it brings me into my next question. What's your top 3 tips or top 3 pieces of information or advice for making it out of the hood? For a young person who's stuck in the street, stuck in the hood, your top 3 tips you could give that young man or that young woman, young girl, young boy, to make it out?
Well, not in no particular order, but the 3. So for me, number 1 would be like, if you got your dreams and that, still stick to that dream. You understand? Don't give up. You understand? I'll say number 2.
That's really important.
I'll say number 2 as well. Like for me, have plans. So don't always put your eggs in one basket. So have a plan A, B, and C, and maybe even a D, because life is like that. So you're kind of ready for what's coming your way. Because like for my example, the football, I only had one dream and I only had one way, and I wasn't ready for anything else what come. Do you see what I'm saying? So I say for the youth today, just always have a plan A, plan
really
C.
important.
And I'll say the 3rd one is like, I haven't even got a 3rd one. The 1 and 2 is for me. It's like, stick to your dream and just make sure you got that plan A, B, C, because obviously whatever it is in life, there's always going to be hurdles in it. Do you understand? And these hurdles can either break you or make you. And that's what it is. Do you understand?
Yeah, thank you. Really insightful and really practical. And it brings me into my last question. What advice do you have for young people that believe or feel that there is no way out? from your personal experiences and your personal viewpoint.
Good question. You got me thinking on that one there. Very good question. But for my personal, don't give up in it. It's as simple as that.
Powerful.
Don't give up on the journey. And the journey's a long journey, but just don't give up. Do you understand? And have faith as well. You understand?
Another powerful one.
Yeah, my thing
very
is
powerful.
Yeah, you see, without God, like
There's nothing. It's impossible.
Nah, it's nothing.
But with God, all things are possible.
So just have faith, man. It'll work.
And it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Absolute privilege. I know many young people are going to be blessed. They're going to be inspired. They're going to be motivated. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my brother.
Honestly,
thank you.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining us on the Realist Show Out. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to like. And do not forget to leave a comment down below. Until next time, thank you for joining us.